Hi, I'm Brandon Sanderson, #1 New York Times bestselling author. I am here at Share Entertainment in Salt Lake City, makers of the Infinity Blade games, and we're going to be talking about the Infinity Blade games and about the book series which I have written in the Infinity Blade universe.
How did you end up partnering up with this video game developer on this project?
Well, I've been a gamer since I was a little kid. I can remember buying my first Nintendo with money I wasn't supposed to spend on a Nintendo, and I've been a gamer ever since, right? And so you don't do what I do without wanting to dabble your toes in video games if you're involved in them. I never really had a great opportunity until Donald from Share actually went through a mutual friend trying to get a hold of me and asked me to go to dinner with him. He had some stuff he wanted to talk about. Their company had been doing great stuff. I'd heard wonderful things about their games, and so I said, okay, well, we'll do dinner. And it was this wonderfully creative dinner where we sat and chatted, and he talked about this game, Infinity Blade, that they were doing, and how excited he was, and how much he liked my books, and it seemed like a really great opportunity for me to start kind of being involved a little bit with this video game world, which is very removed from what I do, but gaming is a hobby of mine, and I wanted to be involved. So we got together and brainstormed, and the idea was that I would write a book that would be a sequel to the first Infinity Blade game. And it was exciting to me because the Infinity Blade game had all these hooks for a story, but the game itself did not have much of a story. And it gave me a lot of freedom to explore this and to extrapolate and say, how do you take things that work in video games and actually make a cohesive setting out of them for a story?
How have things evolved from the perspective of, you've done this once now with the first book, you've done a second book now, but what did you learn from the first undertaking that you've applied to the second?
It's been really cool, actually, because I've done a second book, and I'm not sure if this metaphor works, but it's been a little bit like juggling chainsaws. Meaning, I had this game that Donald gave me. I played through it, I liked it, and then I wrote the first book, which extrapolated a lot on his game and took it in very different directions from where he'd been planning, and I tossed it back to him. And he caught it, and the people at Share made Infinity Blade 2, building on those concepts. And so suddenly, the characters that I'd added became main characters for the game and extrapolated, and they took it a direction and then tossed it back to me. And I had to catch it for the second book and say, okay, now I have to extrapolate this again. They left it in this terrible situation for the characters. Now how do I deal with that? And then I took it the next direction for the sequel to the second game. And it's been very fun, sort of back and forth. Of course, we brainstorm on all of this stuff and we work together, but it's been a blast to see how what I do for a book influences what they do for a game, and then to be influenced by that to make the next book.